Greetings, beloveds. This is Amy with Peregrine Alchemy by Amy. I hope that if you like to celebrate Easter, you have had a good Easter. I wanted to share with you that I have started a meetup group. This is a meetup group that I had started before when it was 2020, right before the pandemic. And for a little while, we did it online still, but then I ceased doing it because we couldn't get together. So many of my listeners are not local here near me, but I would potentially have this be at least occasionally online again. So I will put a link to this group in the description so that you can check it out. And if you'd like to become a member, then if you are interested in doing it online, you can answer the question there when you become a member. I may have to charge a small amount if I do that as well, because then I have to start paying on Meetup. So just so you know, it would be a very small, reasonable amount. So just let me know if you'd be interested in that. And feel free to put it in the comments as well if you'd like. I'll also be linking at the end of this video a few videos that I made years ago of this type of yogic movement. I call it Infinite Movement and Stillness. And I made a few videos of that kind of movement years ago, like I said. So you can check that out as well. I have been finding new connections from this movement or to this movement from other methods of nervous system regulation coming from poly-vagal theory. I have already been somewhat familiar with somatics, and that was already incorporated into infinite movement and stillness. I have found many connections also from biogeometry, for those who remember me speaking of that in previous videos. And I have been finding more need for me to regulate my own nervous system recently. If you've seen some recent videos, you know that I lost my job a few months ago, and that very much impacted my sense of safety. So I'm thankful for these additional methods and reminders of methods that I had learned before, but had somewhat forgotten about. ASMR, I do believe, also connects to these methods in a way that helps relax and regulate the nervous system. So I may do some of that today. But one of the main methods that I find resonates with me is breathing. And that's something I always do when I channel Gaia. So I think that's what I'd like to do primarily in this video today. So feel free to connect to Gaia yourself as well if you would like by taking 3 deep, slow breaths through the nose if you can. Hello, this is Gaia. We are glad that Amy has decided to connect with us again. She has been connecting with us herself, and we know that it would be beneficial to share some of what she has been finding with all of you. Many connections. As always, we encourage all of you to take whatever resonates with you and set aside whatever does not for the moment. Amy has noticed that she becomes more grounded when she takes a moment, often first to fully exhale, and then inhale deep into the belly, all the way down to her feet. Often, many of us hold tension in our bellies, the humans on Earth. So we invite you especially to fully relax your bellies when you take that full inhale, as full as is comfortable for you. If you wish to contract your core a bit on the exhale, that is good too. Just to you remind yourselves that you have a core. You should fully be able to inhale even while contracting your core. However, for many people, it becomes more difficult to isolate the core muscles when you contract them, and therefore other muscles contract at the same time. If that is the case for you, then we invite you to just fully relax all your muscles when you inhale, except for your diaphragm. The diaphragm is the one that relaxes most on the exhale. Then we invite you to bring your awareness to the central column of energy in your body. It generally follows your spine, but it goes beyond your spine as well. It is very much like the trunk of a tree. And like the trunk of a tree, you can feel energy moving up and down it. Both are important. It is easiest to feel the energy moving down the trunk of the tree when you inhale, and up the trunk of the tree when you exhale. Once you have tuned into those two sensations for a while, you may find that it becomes easier to feel the flow in both directions at the same time. We invite you also to then feel the breath going all the way down into the roots of that tree. And then coming back up and allowing the energy to branch out into the crown of the tree and the leaves, connecting all the way to the sun. Especially in the mornings, it is a nice way to begin to first connect to the sun, feeling that energy descend down into your body through your chakras to the roots and down into the earth, and then back up again, as Amy has guided you in videos past. And one of the sensations you may also begin to notice once you have embraced this practice a few times is the sensation of being held and feeling expansive and feeling your aura enlarge beyond, far beyond your body, potentially. It will not seem to take so much effort to sit up straight any longer. You will be supported. And another thing we have guided Amy in recently has to do with your eyes. If you are feeling sleepy, we would invite you, for the purposes of this practice, whether behind closed lids or half closed lids or open eyes, to lift your gaze as far as is comfortable. Don't force it. This will help awaken your body for the duration of the practice. On the other hand, if you find your mind racing, find it hard to focus, find it hard to sit still, you may like to drop your gaze, regardless, again, of whether your lids are open or closed. And perhaps if you find yourself wavering back and forth between those two states of drowsiness and twitchiness, then you can look straight ahead with your eyes. And we invite you to send your gaze out as far as you feel able to behind your lids if they are closed. If you're sitting indoors, which is often likely, it may be easiest to extend your gaze when your lids are closed in this position. Looking far out into the distance, even behind closed lids, is something many people don't do very often anymore, or not very frequently. So it helps to relax the eyes when you do this. and looking straight out ahead as if you were looking toward the horizon. Helps with that feeling of expansion. And helps to balance your nervous system. You may then find yourself more in touch with the astral realm. You may find yourself seeing colors. And that can be a very soothing experience. Reminding yourself that there is more than just this physical world. We thank you so much for joining us today. Well, I enjoyed that. I hope you did too. I think perhaps we will leave it there for now. Thank you for joining me. Namaste, beloveds.